In 1965, Ted Bundy graduated from high school in Tacoma, Washington. Then he spent 1 year at the local college before transferring to the University of Washington. In 1968, he began dabbling in a political career, attending the 1968 Republican National Convention in Miami as a Rockefeller delegate. In 1972, he graduated from the University of Washington at the top of his class, earning a psychology degree. Spending his undergraduate majoring in psychology, he then returned to his local law school in an attempt to finish his graduate degree. Starting in 1974, many women in the Seattle and Oregon area were going missing, both of which were places Bundy frequented. His first victim is believed to be Karen Sparks, a student and dancer at the University of Washington who was studying political science. In 1974, he broke into her apartment, knocked her unconscious with the metal railing from her bed frame before sexually assaulting her with the same object. For 10 days, she was left in a coma, leaving her with permanent brain damage, significant loss to her vision and hearing, and ongoing psychological issues as a result of the attack. Believed to be his first murder, February 1974, Bundy abducted and strangled 21-year-old Linda Ann Healy from the University of Washington campus. He then went on to murder and rape at least one young female every month in 1974, before transferring to the University of Utah Law School. To name just a few: 19-year-old Donna Gail Manson, 18-year-old Suzanne Elaine Rancourt, 20-year-old Roberta Kathy Parks, 22-year-old Brenda Carol Ball, 18-year-old Georgianne Hawkins, 23-year-old Janice Ann Oates, 19-year-old Denise Nosland, 17-year-old Melissa Smith, and 17-year-old Laura Ann Aim. After transferring to the University of Utah Law School, he attacked Carol DeRanch, which would lead to his eventual capture. Bundy attempted to abduct her on November 8, 1974, in Murray, Utah. Her and Karen Sparks are his only two surviving victims. Early in the morning, August 16, 1975, Bundy was arrested for the first time in Utah after fleeing from Highway State Patrol Officer Bob Hayward, who found masks, gloves, ropes, a crowbar, and handcuffs in Bundy's car. He was released on bail the next day, even though the handcuffs matched the ones that he tried to abduct Carol DeRanch with. Authorities started to believe they had their tri-state murderer. On March 1st, 1976, he was found guilty of aggravated kidnapping. Then in October 1976, he was charged with the murder of Karen Campbell. In 1977, Bundy escaped from prison, not once but twice, proving to be a fatal mistake for some more young women. With his time in law school, Bundy's decision to serve as his own lawyer allowed him to appear in court without shackles, plus gave him an opportunity to move freely from the courtroom to the law library inside the courthouse. This would lead to his first escape. His first escape happened during a trip to the courthouse library, December 30th, 1977. He jumped out a window and made off before being captured, but he was caught 8 days later. His second escape, he climbed out of a hole he drilled into his cell ceiling. To fit through the small hole, he had to lose more than 30 pounds. Bundy left Colorado, where he had been held, and made a break for sunny Tallahassee, Florida. January 14th, 1978, Bundy broke into a Florida State University sorority house. He attacked 4 young females, killing 2 of them. One of their roommates came home around 3 a.m. and noticed the front door was ajar. As she entered, she heard footsteps in her house, so she hid and watched as a man wearing a blue cape and carrying a log exited the house. Then again, on February 9th, he kidnapped and murdered 12-year-old Kimberly Leach. Less than a week after his attack on Kimberly, Bundy was arrested in Pensacola, Florida, for driving a stolen vehicle. A mold of the bite marks found on one of his victims matched, and he was arrested and charged with the crimes. After endless appeals, on January 17, 1989, Bundy was executed in Tacoma, Washington, for the murder and rape of dozens of women. He admitted to killing 36 young women between 1974 and 1978 across several states, leaving investigators believing that there were many, many more. It is believed that the total number of victims may be closer to 100 or possibly even more.